Buffalo. We're coming another one of these series, try to help everybody improve a little bit. We know we have club championship coming up, and just like with us, the better we play under pressure, the more we're able to be athletic, use our body, just eliminate the swiping of the arms with the golf ball. So Ray is behind the camera here, and he's going to talk a little bit about something that we both work on in our golf game. Not only how you use the ground, but more specifically, kind of when to use it. So, go ahead, Ray.
All right, so we hear a lot that in order to hit the ball further and more solidly, we need to use the ground when we swing, and we hear how tour players use the ground a lot better than amateurs use it. But the real problem here is when people attempt to use the ground in their swings, they'll do it too early, and they'll effectively lose the tension in the ground too soon, and we'll actually hit weak, poor shots, either out to the right, or we'll flip our hands and kind of hit hooks. So something me and Pat both work on is actually staying up tall and feeling like there's not much tension in the ground in our backswing. But when we start down, our trigger in transition is to feel like we're pushing into the ground. Oh, you see Pat sitting down here. And what happens then is that the hit feels like it's later in your swing, and your speed will actually jump up. I know for Pat, we were working yesterday, and he was getting 2 to 3 miles per hour with his 5-iron and upwards of 5 miles an hour with his driver, just thinking about squatting kind of later in the swing, or using the ground later in the swing.
So here's an early example where we get too much tension in our backswing. We go into the ground too soon, and then we come up too soon, and we get handsy. So we take it back, we get into the ground, and then we have to let go, and we're at the random control wherever that club goes through.
Yeah, and it's just, if you could time it up, you may hit a good one here or there, but it's not going to be with the same amount of power that you're used to. And what will happen too, when we use the ground too soon, the backswing will get short and out of position. So you'll see here, Pat's going to stay up taller in his backswing. It's going to look like his backswing's longer, and he's going to squat in his transition. Yeah, that was a lot better there. So he actually stayed probably a little too level throughout that whole thing. So we hit it solidly, but it was a little bit left. So we're going to try and do here, Pat, I want you to really exaggerate that squat once you get the club to the top of your backswing. So I want you to squat and then feel like you're really exploding through it as you go through. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys could see the ball in this, but the first one was a little low and a little left. That second one, he launched it a lot higher, and the ball carried a lot further in the air.
So there's the goal of the backswing again is to just store energy. So that's why you see people say, "Oh, they swing so easy." They just allow things to store better than we do. Mm-hmm. So they allow it to store. And then the athletic part is the pressing into the ground and then rotating through.
Yep.
So I'm trying to be, you want to get on my feet here, Ray?
Yep.
You want to kind of look at this footwork here. Not too much pressure. And then this is where I start to get explosive and get off the feet. So the athleticism has to happen a little bit later and has to be more dynamic. So let's see if I can do one here.
I'm going to keep it on your feet here. Yeah, that was the best one he hit so far there. So then if you look at guys even on the PGA Tour, Justin Thomas is a great example. He's maybe Pat's size, maybe smaller than Pat, and he's able to produce 118 miles an hour of club head speed. And if you look at him, he's actually off the ground as he's hitting the ball. So he stores it up, like Pat was saying, in his backswing, and then he just lets everything go at impact, and he's able to produce tremendous speeds at not being big and athletic like some of the other guys are out there.
And then as that gets more explosive, well, then obviously we have to work to coordinate the other body parts to get in sync and in rhythm with our body moving. But
exactly,
you don't want to sync things up at a semi-athletic or timid, less aggressive pace. So that's why it's important to get the legs firing, getting working, and then we can work on some of the other manageable things once we're more dynamic. So I'm going to really go with this one here. Let's see what I can get the speed up to. I'm going to let it store and then really squat and explode.
Yeah, that's pretty good there. So I'm going to look at his numbers here. So that one was upwards of 112 and a half, almost 113, which is great for Pat. If Pat can swing it that fast, he's going to be able to hit it 300, 305 out there. And you get a wedge in Pat's hand, he's pretty dangerous.
All right, last one. I'm going to try to break the barriers here.
Uh-oh.
tall, relax, explode.
That was probably the best ball he hit there. He started that one just a little right. It was a lot higher than some of the other ones, and that thing was drawing pretty good. 284 in the air, 310 total. That was pretty good. He knuckled that one pretty good. Only 21 RPMs.
So remember, relax in your backswing, store energy, and be explosive. And when your rounds aren't going great and you feel the pressure, you really have to try to move, be as athletic as you can. And as always, we're here for you if you need some help with it. So thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Pat.